EEEDC here, back again with another knife review. This will constitute both my knife review of this knife, the Benchmade Adamas, and also my explanation of why exactly I am selling this knife, or in this case, trading this knife. So, first of all, let's start out with the size. The size, this knife is a overall length of 8.70 inches. Blade length is 3.82 inches. Blade thickness, 0.16 inches. The blade material is D2 steel, and this is a drop point blade. And the edge on this is the plain edge. It comes in both the combo edge, which is the serrated and plain edge combo, and the regular plain edge. Now, this also comes in the manual opening and the automatic opening. This particular knife is a manual opening knife. In the automatic, the only difference, there's a couple of real differences. When you pull back the axis lock, the knife will deploy, and let me tell you, I've held those before. The kick on those is one of the best kicks on any automatic knife I have ever felt. It's extremely satisfying. If I were ever going to get this knife again, I would have to think hard about whether I want another manual or whether I'd want the automatic. That being said, I do like the manual. There's many things that I like and some things that I don't like about it, which is one of the reasons that I'm getting rid of it. But let's talk about some of the options first. Like I said, there's two blade options. There's also a couple of different options for the handle. And the handle here, this is the black version. It also comes in a sand. I believe the sand is really more of a coyote tan. And as far as I'm aware, because this is D2 steel, it only comes with a coated blade. I don't think I've seen one with a non-coated blade, although there might be some that exist. You guys can leave comments below letting me know whether that's the case. Now, this is a Shane Siebert design. Like I said, it comes in both automatic and regular. Not only does with the automatic, there's also a lock on the back and the spine where you can lock it into place. You can see it's a Shane Siebert design. This fuller is really an indicator that this is his work. He does that in a lot of his knives. Now let me tell you, this is a purpose-built, hard-use knife if I've ever seen one in my life. I mean, this thing is, not only is it thick, it's tough, it's everything you really want in a knife that's just really hard use. There's a reason so many guys in the military or first responders use this particular knife. Now, let's talk about some of the features on this knife. So the cutting edge on this is a little bit shorter. I don't have the exact measurements on me right now, but I believe it's somewhere around 3.5 inches on the cutting edge. Let's talk about the size comparisons. So this is the Benchmade Contigo. So you can see Benchmade Contigo has a 4-inch blade. This is a 3.82-inch blade. So you can see it's a little bit longer when you line up the pivots. You can also see the Crooked River. We've got a lot of Benchmades for this comparison video. So again, you can see that this is a 4-inch blade. The Adamas is a little bit smaller. Griptilian, this is a full-size grip. Line up those pivots. So you can see, at least blade-wise, it's not that much larger than the Griptilian, but the handle is significantly larger. This is the 940. And again, the 940 has a 3.4-inch blade, so this one's a little bit shorter, but you can really see how, although this is a much smaller knife, this really, the part that dwarfs this knife more than anything else is the thickness, how tall it is, rather than how long it is. That being said, again, the handle is much longer than the 940's handle as well. PM2. Whoop. Let's do that again. Take two. Okay, and the Manix. Sometimes it's hard doing this with a camera, looking through a camera. Anyway, you can see the size comparison there. And just because I just got this knife, the boost blade smoke and just because this is one of the knives that I really traded for it, the Benchmade Bailout. The interesting thing is that the Bailout and the Adamas, both black class knives, are kind of polar opposites of each other. You can sort of see a couple different things. Look how thin this is, and look how thin this is. Big difference. Cutting edge is also similarly different. This has cartridge liners. You can see in there, the liner only goes up to where this screw is. That's the screw that holds in the cartridge liner. Whereas these are full, thick, milled out stainless steel liners. So these could not be two more different knives, but I'm very glad to have this one. And again, even though I'm trading this one away, I may end up getting it back at a later date, or a different, not this exact knife, but a different one of the same Adamas. Now, some of the features, it has these holes. These holes, my understanding, are there to be able to articulate the knife around when you're in a military or first responder application, so that you can easily find the place to swing these on. So it's not, it doesn't just serve the purpose of lightening the knife, which is definitely necessary in this case, because the G10 over the stainless steel does make this knife very, very heavy. But it also has that added benefit. Because the blade is so heavy, it's actually a joy to flip open and flip close, and you really get this nice thwack sound. It's really a lot of fun. So if you're a fidgeter, it's definitely a good knife for that, especially if you are a hard use fidgeter. See the D2 steel, Shane Siebert design. And I have to say, the edge that this came with was one of the sharper edges that I've seen. Despite it being a Benchmade, which usually gives you a toothy edge, and this edge is a little toothy, but also, this is D2. It's not a super steel, but it's a tool steel, and this thing takes one hell of an edge. The clip on this is deep carry, but as you can see, it only deep carries up to about here, which means you're going to have the back end of the knife sticking out of your pocket if you choose to use the deep carry clip. That being said, you might choose to get rid of the clip altogether, because this also comes with a molly pouch. I don't have the molly pouch with me, it's at work, but I plan to send it out with this knife when I send it to the other person. The person that traded for this knife. Now, I'll also mention, I showed you the knife that I traded for, the Bailout, and you might be thinking, why do you have both knives at the same time if you traded for it? Well, as I explained in one of my other videos that I posted when I did the unboxing, the person who was trading me, this knife, for that knife, did not have really any vouches or people who could vouch for him. And when you're sending two knives, who knows what's going to happen in the mail? Somebody could just take it and run with it. There's been a lot of people getting ripped off recently. So I was hesitating on completing the transaction because of the fact that he didn't have vouchers, and he graciously, to his credit, I really, really think very highly of the fact that he did this. He sent me this knife along with the other two items that he traded me, which is Leatherman Micra, which you can see in the other video, and Streamlight Penlight. He sent me these items without me sending this out first. And he offered to do that. I didn't ask him to do that, he just offered. And so I can't say enough about the fact that he did that. I don't know if he wants to be identified, so I won't do that here, but on the forum that I bought it from him, or traded from with him, I'll make a post to make sure that he's recognized for that. All right, back to this knife. So, again, you got this deep carry clip. So to recap what's good about this knife, before we really get into the drawbacks, the blade shape is amazing. The edge on this holds a fantastic edge. This thing is solid as a rock. The lockup in every direction, and this is an axis lock, so people complain about axis locks and how and side-to-side play. Up and down is never a problem, but side-to-side is sometimes a problem. This thing is as rock solid as any other knife I've ever held. And, you know, the jimping here is excellent. Goes right in the hand. The ergonomics are excellent. This thing is thick, so it fills up your whole hand. It's just an amazing hard-use knife. There's even jimping on the back. I'm not quite sure what the jimping on the back is. It's probably for the reverse grip. Although I will say the reverse grip is not quite as comfortable. All right, so let's talk about some of the bad. Well, some of the bad is this is a very difficult knife to EDC, and I was kind of hard-headed about it originally. I thought to myself, well, I don't care. I don't mind, you know, filling up my pockets and having a lot of stuff on me all the time. So it really wasn't a problem. And I still kind of feel that way, but one of the reasons that I'm getting rid of this, and this is one of the negatives of it, is it's so big and so heavy that despite me telling myself it wouldn't be a problem, I just didn't find myself carrying this almost at all. Every once in a while, I'd have to force myself to carry it. And that's just not how it should be. So at the end of the day, as much as I love playing with this in front of the TV or late at night, I figured it's time to let it go for something that I can enjoy during the daytime. So that's really one of the main reasons why I'm selling this. And so if the answer to the question of why I'm selling this or trading this, that is the main reason. The other reason I was just talking about is the clip. Even when you have a deep carry clip, it still sticks out. So that wouldn't be such a problem if the profile this way wasn't an issue. But this is so thick that it forces your pockets to flare out. And when your pockets flare out, you can see the entirety of this thing sticking up, and it's pretty clear you have a knife, or what looks like to some people, a gun sticking out of your pants. Now, I know this does not look like a gun, but you would be surprised at how many people have no idea what a gun looks like and will freak out over seeing the butt end of a Benchmade Adamas. So that would be the bad. The major drawback is just how freaking heavy it is and how freaking hulking it is. But that's also one of the best things about it. And so if you have a military application, for example, and you're digging out a trench with a knife and you got to use it to pump, you know, to strike the back of something, and, you know, you've got to really get in and do hard work, and you need to be able to, you know, keep an edge for a while because, you know, you have a tool steel. All those things are reasons why you should get this knife. So that's the good, that's the bad, that's why I'm selling it, and I'm glad you tuned in. I think I rambled a little longer than I intended to, but I'm very grateful to have you guys watching. Please feel free to like, share, comment on this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you who subscribes and leaves comments and likes on the videos. You know, I'm trying to grow the channel, and so if you can share the videos as well, I definitely appreciate it, but I really appreciate each and every one of my viewers here.